Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we are once again having the dumbest, stupidest thing we've ever seen in our entire lives, where these game companies are trying to milk us in every single direction. And one thing to know is I'm not a cow, and I hope you guys are not a cow too. But for some reason, we're seeing these the biggest gaming companies. Microsoft was a big one that we covered up quite a bit in this channel, trying to go and shove ads down everyone's throats, and people are not happy. But once again, one of the most, well, in my honest opinion, gruff companies out there, EA is trying to go do the same exact thing. Now, this might be a hot take, and I've kind of actually talked about this in my Twitch stream before, is I do think EA has actually kind of cleaned up their act a little bit. Now, we've had some really bad instances with EA where they overly microtransaction, they overly limited down games, and they've had a lot of flops that were mainly due to the fact that they were trying to make too much money and try to go and appease the shareholders. But I would say, at least in my opinion, they've kind of calmed down a little bit. But right now, this is where they're just ramping up that, like, hey, 2-3 years of calm before the storm, before unleashing an absolute tidal wave of pain, misery, and microtransaction money, where they're just trying to make as much money as they possibly can. So let's go talk about the fact that EA is about to do one of the stupidest things I've ever seen in gaming, and I want to hear your thoughts and comments on everything down below. We have the Twitter and Twitch as well if you guys want to follow, and let's dive on into it. So one big thing to know is, what would be the world's worst thing out there that you can do when you're playing any type of video game? Let's say you're out here, you're having a good time, you're trying to go launch up Dead Space over here, and you're like, well, I love this EA game. I love playing all EA branded corporate games, best games ever, and you're getting the groove of the game, you're enjoying yourself, and
Whopper, junior, double, triple, Whopper, flame grill taste with perfect topper.
yeah, that is about what is expected over here when it comes to EA, where EA is once again trying to reclaim the title of the most evil and ruthless gaming company, where EA is prototyping in-game ads even as we speak. We have teams internally in the company right now that are specifically trying to make ads in games work. Now, I'm sure most of you guys understand this, as I've gone through almost all these issues and problems when it came to Xbox, talking about the same thing. Xbox Game Pass, though, I had to say, had a little baby bit of merit, but I would like to also put a hard stop on that. I don't want to have ads in my video games. If it's one of those like cheesy things, like you're playing Death Stranding and you see a Coca-Cola bottle or like a Monster bottle, okay, fine, like that's kind of funny if it's done well and tastefully, but the issue is when it's not done well, and it's not done tastefully, or it's just an actual really loud ad that ruins my gaming experience. Now, I do want to say this, and maybe just for the topic of conversation, I don't think I really mind the idea of free games with ads. Now, I think that's a dangerous line to draw into, because you do not want to be the guy who is out there and being like, yeah, I don't mind ads, and then at a certain point, you're spending $60 and you're getting ads, or you have Game Pass paid for, and you're getting ads. Like, we don't want that. Think like Amazon right now with their TV shows. They literally have ads in their shows in the Amazon app as you're paying for Amazon Prime, which is expensive already as is. That's stupid, that's dumb, that's horrible. But, and this is where companies, I think, don't really get it, is if you gave me an option that gave me a lot of ads, but it was free, some people, and myself, depending on this thing, would probably go and take it. So if you gave me, let's say, all your EA games for free, you gave me Battlefield for free, you gave me any type of like sports game for free, and maybe the occasional ad is like maybe the game's loading in a multiplayer match, because you do have to pay for servers and all these other costs. That's okay, I understand that. Like, I would actually probably maybe be okay with that, and like, let me know your thoughts down below. But the issue is that some of these game companies want you to pay money and or still be paying money to get ads in your game. And I do not like that. Game Pass, you give me that for 100% for free every 30 minutes, an hour. I run through some ads as long as it's not a multiplayer game, maybe between matches. Like, I think some people would be okay with that. You don't spend the money, it's okay. But like I said, if I had to spend $70 on playing any type of EA game and they have ads in that one, I'm out. So we have teams right now, they are eternally trying to make this, and there was also some big drama with Xbox, where Xbox was considering this also for a cheaper or freemium Game Pass, which once again merits, but let's see. EA Arts has a long, storied history of trying to wring more money out of gamers after they've purchased a game. And this, once again, the big issue after purchasing. If it's free, maybe a little wiggle room. I don't like that precedent, but maybe. Paying money, don't even talk to me. Now, it appears the company's hard at work on its next generation of in-game ads. EA CEO Andrew Wilson admitted as much on the company's Q4 earnings call, when an analyst asked about the market's opportunity for more dynamic ad insertions across more traditional AAA games. So we're not talking about like these small ragtag indie games, which they don't have ads in this. We're talking about those big boy games like the Call of Duties or those types of style of games. We have teams internally in the company right now looking at how to do very thoughtful implementations inside of our game experiences. Thoughtful implementations inside our game experiences is not words I would trust EA on in the slightest. I don't want to take Wilson out of context. If you read the full question and answer on page 12, you'll see that the in-game ads aren't the thing he's most excited about. Of course, as a CEO and upper executive on EA, where you're probably getting paid in stock compensation, anything that would make your company do better and make more money, and at the end of the day, makes your stock and shareholder prices higher, I'm sure you would be happy about. Unknowingly so. But basically trying to go and say they want to be thoughtful. They want to go and say that there's an opportunity is beyond the bounds of games outside of a game itself. As we start to build community and harness the power of community, you mean those like our eyesights, our bandwidth, and us wasting our time watching random Whopper commercials and Chipotle commercials and you trying to go and sell more microtransactions? I would never in my life allow this. I would probably, to this point, stone cold never play an EA game ever again if I had to sit here and pay through games that I spent $70 on and saw an ad pop up in the middle of a game. And that's kind of why I have to be honest. I do think there would be solutions. Free Game Pass with ads. EA, like their streamability stuff, which is very similar to Game Pass. You get like day one games, you can check them out. If it was included with ads, you sort up like the app, you run some ads. Every 30 minutes, an hour, you run some ads. Some people will maybe do it. And like that's an okay alternative. You build more players in your game. You have more alternative money. And at the same time, you're probably already paying for server cost and paying for the development of the game. So I mean, you could make a little extra. Like, why not? Like, I mean, what works and other things, like YouTube, it's hard, but it does work. Like, run TAD ads. I don't care. Run TAD ads an hour. And, like, let those people have that option. But it's just when you have to spend $70, I'm not going to want to spend money on a game. I don't want to drop $80 on a game. And once again, these games say, like, let's just think Call of Duty. I know it's not an EA game, but think Call of Duty. Some people would maybe play Call of Duty for free if there was ads in it, and they, like, between every match, they had to sit through a minute of ads. People probably would, because people, like, don't mind saving money, and, like, they don't play that often. Whatever, that's fine. But if I spend $70, I have an ad, I have microtransactions already, battle passes, like, they're trying to milk me for everything I'm worth. These people are losing their minds. And even look at, like, say, McDonald's for a good example. McDonald's right now had horrible earnings and lost a lot of money and lost their projections long term because they realized that people are getting, like, just grabbed everywhere when it comes to money. And even McDonald's is now becoming more of a quote-unquote premium product. Inverse that for games. Like, I don't mind spending $5, $10 in a game I play a lot, but I can't be spending $10 in microtransactions and battle passes in every multiplayer game I play. I understand not everyone does, or you don't have to, but it is a big struggle. Let alone trying to shove in ads on that just doesn't work. And especially if you're trying to go put this weird power of community. That just reminds me of like those really, really mediocrely, poorly ran companies that are like, this is a family business, as they're paying you 30 grand a year and you have no like actual benefits. And then they're also trying to go clear 150K a year because it's a small family business. Do we want that? Do we want to be milked? No. As they say, as they're a writer working for a website that relies on advertising, I guess they can take issues with that, but they can say hearing that makes me want to join a community for an EA title. They're also saying, too, as well, like, they did have a chance to go and have cool games in games before. I do think games like Death Stranding had some cool vibes. They had, like, I believe it was Monster. And that seems cool. But we're also even kind of seeing big things over here, too, as well. We've actually literally seen EA even apologize for putting these random ads in games. Like, look at this. Like, this is horrible from multiple years ago. So it kind of goes and shows that this has been in the works, has been discussed, and, like, they're literally going to want to try to put ads in games like this where they're getting paid money. And this is horrible because it just sets the precedent, because it's happened already. It's been there. It's existed. So if they've tried to weasel it in before, what's to stop them from trying to weasel it in again? And that's what breaks my heart. And that's what makes me sad, because we have to full stop this. Because if gamers allow this for 1 or 2 games, then 50 other games, 100 other games, and then it becomes the standard for games as a whole. And I don't want to ever have to play a game and have random things like this one. And here's a good example of the video of what happened. Like, you guys saw that like really quick pop-up, which if it was done tastefully for a free-to-play game, sure. But if it's one of those things where I'm spending money on this and I'm spending money on microtransactions, or no, hard stop. Like, I don't know how many more times I have to say this in the video. Hard stop. Never again. No, no, no. So give me your thoughts, because this is gross. Twitter and Twitch down below. I appreciate you guys all for watching. Just love you guys. See you guys later on today, maybe for another bonus video.